Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so Scorpio, our card tonight is the Knight of Swords. Yes, swift mental energy, okay? Clever, creative, thoughtful, cunning, maybe. So let's go ahead. Let's see what the tea leaves are going to say about this, okay? How do these two energies kind of come together? And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you want to hit the like button, or leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. Okay, so immediately I see the number 5 right here. And it could almost look like 500. So 500. We also have the number 2 up here. I'm looking down in here. We have this series of faces. One here, one here. You can see the eye here. You can see the eye on this one. Here's the nose on this one. Here's the nose on this one, the mouth. So we kind of have these two faces. One is, to me, it reminds me of like somebody's in your ear, right? Every time you start to do something, you can hear, somebody telling you you shouldn't do that. You're never going to succeed. Why are you even trying that? It almost kind of feels like this really overly critical and domineering kind of parental archetype, right? Now, it doesn't have to be mother. It doesn't have to be father necessarily. It could be a caretaker, grandparent, something like this. Now, I don't know that they are still trying to control how you do things, but I think that at times you hear that, you just hear whatever they might say to you, that's what comes up in your mind. Because we become conditioned, right? We hear the same kind of talk throughout our really impressionable years when you're young, right? You're like 1 through 5 or 6. But then beyond that, right, in your formative years there, we get conditioned by the kinds of communications that we hear around us. And so it makes sense that even all these years later, that when things start to get, maybe a little challenging, maybe a little bit rough, or maybe like you have this moment, this glimmer of like, oh my gosh, I'd really like to do that. That would be so cool. And then you hear that voice in your head. Why would you waste your money? Why would you waste your time? You're probably not going to be good at it anyways. These kinds of negative self-talk. I think that's really how we can define it. Negative self-talk. So, what do we do here? Now, I want to look also at, where are the other ones I saw up here? We have another 2 up here, and it looks like 28 actually, which is one of my lucky numbers. So I like to see that. Maybe we can change this energy a little bit. Let's see. So now we have, it looks like a large, I'm going to say this looks like a pig. Okay. We have like kind of this, could be a dog, but I think it's a pig. The large head over here, here's the body. Okay. So we have that. We also have this face up here. You can see the eyes, the nose. Now this one feels more like a masculine energy. And I feel like this is like your protector. This is somebody who, like growing up when things were getting, heated, or there was some turmoil or whatever, this is the person that you knew you would be safe with. They were mild-tempered, right? Just kind of very chill, busy, doing their work, projects, working around the house. I wonder if this is maybe somebody who watched you, maybe like a grandparent, a grandfather, an uncle, somebody. But I feel like you found kind of refuge in this relationship, because this is where you went for things to be a little more calm and zen, right? Just kind of going about the business of the day. And this, I think, was a really important balancing factor in your life, especially when you were young. Now we have the pig, so this really is a symbol of prosperity, of abundance, of good health. And so I feel like really it's kind of the universe pointing in the direction of, if you don't have this dynamic anymore, right? Maybe this person is transitioned. They're no longer in their corporeal body. They have passed on, is an easier way of saying that. Or, maybe they're just very elderly. You don't get to see them as much. Your life keeps you very busy, whatever it is. I feel like this is the universe really kind of reminding you that if you can kind of set up a lifestyle, a life where there is a lot of room for calm, for quiet, for serenity, right? Your home being maybe like a place that is a sanctuary, that is calm. There's not raised voices or clutter, or, just kind of that feeling of the mess of our minds, right? You have a place to leave the outer world and to kind of go into an atmosphere that is conducive with you really, letting go of some of your anxieties of the day. Having a place to retreat to so that you can recharge. I feel like maybe this is something that you've been lacking recently, and it's something that maybe, I feel like for most Scorpio people, you're really good at managing stress as much as any of us, maybe more, right? Maybe you're a little better. Maybe you're not like me freaking out and crying when things just like, I can't do it, it's too much. But you're good at managing through these high stress situations. You're good under pressure. You're good at navigating people, even if you don't really love to have to deal with people's personalities and their attitudes and all of that. But at some point, you have to allow yourself to slow down a little bit, because I really believe this. I don't know. I do feel like, though, that there's almost like a sense of pride derived from your ability to take on so much and to do so much and to be the person that is carrying so much for so many people. And you know, I understand that. If you're a family person, if you are a community-oriented person, you know, oftentimes, yeah, these are our roles. We have to keep our households going, keep our work going. You know, we're checking in on people we care about. In some cases, taking care of people that we care about. And so I feel like, you know, there's a need for you to find at least a little reprieve from just the constant. It's just, that's what keeps coming to mind. It's just constant. There's so much stuff, right? If you were going to sit here and tell me right now, hey, you know, I'm taking some days off. I have a day off. I'm taking a little vacation. And then I ask you, okay, that's cool. So what do you have planned? Or what are you going to do on your day off? The list is mile high. Is it really a day off? Do you really take days away from doing, you know, your work and your chores and managing so much, your empire? Not likely, right? Not likely. So, you know, sometimes we can't get away for a whole 24 hours or even, you know, a few hours, but we have to find those moments for ourselves. Okay. And I think the universe is really, you know, like sitting here saying, yeah, it might be time for Scorpio to take a little bit of a break. Now, I want to look over here. We have this, I'm looking at this as a beetle. It looks to me like what are they called? Is it a rhino? Not a rhino one. Some kind of scarab beetle. But we know that this is, right, Kefri. This is the dung beetle of the Egypto lore, cosmology, or cosmology. I always mix those up. And so anyways, the origin, one of the origins. And we know that this is the god that rolls the ball, or the sun, right? The sun across the different stations in the sky. Okay, so this is all about transition. This is all about, well, to some degree, control in our own lives, right? This is about really taking advantage of the moments of your day, of your life. And I think, you know, more than anything, I believe that when we see symbols like this, and this is what it makes me think of anyways, is that we are the mover in our lives, right? We are the one that conceives of our image, of reality, of our life, of the meaning of our life. We are the one that breathes breath into the life, the creative force that flows through. And we can't just wait around for that all the time, right? We can't just, I feel like I hear so many people, and I'm guilty of this myself, so many people saying, you know, when I have the money, when I have the time, you know, I really wanted to do that, or I really would like to do that, but I just don't know how I'm going to be able to. Maybe I'll do it, you know, next time, or whatever it is, right? We can live on a mountain of mountains, maybe, you know, of shouldas, of couldas, of one days. But I look at this and I feel like it's, you know, it really is this kind of two things happening at once here. One, you need to rest up. Maybe look at your schedules, prioritize, let some things fall away if they're not important anymore, if they do not serve you well, right? We all have these little rituals of our life, right? That we continue to partake in. It doesn't even necessarily have to be like anything, anything like a tradition or anything that has to go that way. But sometimes we just fall into a routine. And it might be that it's really inefficient. It might be something that we just dread doing, but we continue to do it anyways. So sometimes we have to take really kind of an inventory of what our life looks like and where are we putting our energies, where are we putting our time, and what is there that maybe is kind of a rollover from how we were living before. So we have that where it's like, let's audit our time, right? Our time, our schedule, where we're putting our energy. But at the same time, we have this calling, right? Let's begin. Let's begin building. Let's begin rolling that ball. But this is a very narrow pathway. Now it will open up to bigger things, but here at the beginning, finding that thing that has such a deep meaning, finding that thing that brings you excitement, that you are engaged with. Now, I know that we often want to look for things that bring us joy, and that is wonderful. If you can find that, we have joy in moments, happiness. But I think what is also an equally and maybe even at times more so important than looking for that bliss is finding things of substance, of meaning, of that challenge us, that continue to get us to unfurl as human beings, as spiritual beings. And I think that this is your call. It's time to find that thing for yourself. Now, maybe you've had things like this before, and you've been too busy to continue doing, whatever it is that you love. That happens. Especially if it's like pre-kids, post-kids, our lives look a lot different. Pre-career, post-career, our lives look a lot different. But you get into this place where it's like you start to just know. It's time to find something for myself. Now, I don't know why I just thought of this, but I guess it's because I see it so often around here. Pickleball. I've never played it. I don't like playing, I'm not really, you can probably tell. I never played team sports. And I don't like anything where things are flying at me, right? Like balls and things like that. I had too many bad experiences as a kid from the 80s, 90s. Big glasses, playing tetherball, if you remember that horror of a game. Getting hit in the head plenty of times, or dodgeball, or any of these kinds of things. And so, but pickleball, I don't know. Maybe you need to go play some pickleball. Find some pickleball. It's really popular here. I don't know. Maybe it's just like rural middle America, but it's a big deal. Even my daughter, who's 4, she's like, Mom, I want to play pickleball. I'm like, okay. I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's like tennis, but yeah. So finding something for yourself, right? And it could be as simple as playing pickleball, right? Getting into a tournament, or, I mean, I don't know, like a, what is that called? Like an intramural league, or I don't know. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, something. Or, you know, going back to school. It could be something very lofty like this. Like, I'm going to go finish my, you know, my doctorate or something. But whatever it is that's calling for you, I feel like you absolutely are feeling. I mean, you're feeling it. And I feel like it's really manifesting as like kind of being a little bit restless in your life. So let's take a look over here. We have a mermaid. We have a G in the middle. It almost looks like G-E. I-G-E. If that makes any sense to you, I-G-E. Or 163. 163. There's a lot of numbers this time. I almost kind of am like, should we even do the lucky numbers? So many numbers. Lots of 2s. A lot of 2. Okay, so we have a mermaid. We have a pumpkin. And I feel like it's just, there's a sense of lust underneath this. We have L-U-S. There's no T per se, but I feel like it's lust. So with the mermaid, we know that in the mythology of the mermaid, there is this tie to the siren, right? Or siren, which is the mythological being that will sing beautiful songs, call out to sailors who are sailing by, right? And when they hear that and they turn and they, you know, go towards the mermaid or the siren, they're brought to their demise because they hit the rocks or they hit a sandbar or their ship is sunk, right? They get turned around. They don't know where they're going. And so I feel like there maybe is a little bit of a warning here. And with the pumpkin, it reminds me of the saying, right? I have to go home before I turn into a pumpkin. So I almost kind of feel like there is a desire to connect with others or another. I feel like this could be less about romance or courtship or having this, you know, engaged relationship, and more about sensuality, okay, like hooking up basically. And again, as I always love to remind you, no judgment here. This is never about being in a place of judgment, but I do feel that there is maybe some, I feel like there's some degree of warning here. I don't know if it's the person, the situation, if it's just like kind of, well, let's face it, it could be, that you're in a relationship already. Maybe you're married or whatever, and this is, you know, not who you're lusting after necessarily. And kind of a reminder, right? Look over your life. Look at what you've worked for, what you've done here, you know, what you've built with another person. You know, is this drive You know, what some might call profane or base, right? Is it worth putting all of that at risk? I don't know. You know, that's individual to each of you listening. But I do know there's nothing wrong, of course, right? Of course. Nothing wrong with being attracted to somebody or having a fondness for somebody or whatever. But, you know, you must think about the consequences of such things. And you know, even if you are not involved with anybody else, right? We still have to consider. And so I think it's kind of just like pump the brakes a little bit. Think about what's going on here. Consider all of the all of the implications, okay? Now we're going to do our oracle of the radiant sun, and we're just going to kind of ask, what is this next few days going to be like, okay? And I'm going to flip through. We're going to stop here. Intuition, originality, influence, submission. Let's see, what else here? Order, one more. Caution, okay. So I feel like, I mean, it really just does speak to kind of the same energies we've been picking up on. You know, really, I think following that pull that you have, right? To start something different, to have some, and I feel like even with this being matched with like kind of this lustful feeling you have going on, they go together, right? There's this desire for something fulfilling, this desire for connection to something higher. And that is something higher, I think, is the creative instinct, the need to innovate. And to some degree, even maybe influence, right? Maybe you are somebody who's like starting a channel or, you know, starting a business, or yeah, maybe you are like wanting to be an influencer, whatever that means exactly. But, I can see that this is at least an aspect, right? You want to have some position in your chosen field or industry or niche or whatever, okay? But listen, with the order, I think this really, it has to do with looking over your life, like we said, taking kind of an inventory of where things maybe need to be streamlined a little bit, where things maybe need to be, you know, kind of, I don't know, put away, put on the shelf, or even eliminated from your tasks, okay? And the caution. We have submission and caution. So it really, I mean, the lust, it really, that's what it is for me, is that there is this kind of, be mindful about what you are submitting to, you know, like within yourself, right? What instincts, what drives, what, you know, desires, what are you going to entertain in your mind, and what are you actually going to do with that? Are you going to submit to it or not? You know, and I think it's just, I can't give you advice. I don't know. Either way, you know, this is your path. But I can tell you that it feels complicated, okay? It feels like a place where, well, it's like, you know, you're driving along you're cruising, and you maybe need to maybe go a little slower, maybe even get off at the rest stop, right? Take a little nap, think it over, you know, give yourself some time, and, you know, and ultimately I think that's the big message here is let's consider. Now let's do our 3 lucky numbers. We have number 6. Oops, let me do this one again. Okay. Number 6, number 51, 651. It's just, come on, let's go this way. 35. 651, 35. All right. And we're going to do our inner child oracle cards. And I'm just going to flip through. We'll stop where it feels right. 34. Oops. Spend some time in nature. Let the beauty of nature refresh your soul. Let the beauty of nature refresh your soul. Yes. Have you all seen the northern lights? I can feel that solar storm. Like, just the energy. It reminds me of like earlier in the summer when we were having all of those, you know, solar storms. It just feels so chaotic emotionally. And so, yeah, but the northern lights, I didn't see them. I missed them. But we do have them, not all the time here up in the north, but it's not as rare of an occurrence. But I did see that people could see them all the way down into, like, I think Alabama. I think it was Alabama. So, yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, I guess that's it. I'm going to tell you I love you. You know that I do. I hope that you do anyways. I hope that you know I love you. And I'm so honored to be able to do these messages, these readings for you, bring you the messages from wherever they come from, from the aether. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps the channel. If you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you want to leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Absolutely. All right. With that, I'm going to tell you good night. I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days. Bye-bye.